Okay, so one final video here. Trying to catch up on my to-do list. And this little article is by Mark Nestman at nestman.com. That's two N's and man. Posted today. And his title is, "Will the IRS reschedule the death of the dollar?" Question mark. But this is really, for those of you who know what happens, July, is it 1st or July 4th, whatever it is, July 1st, 2014, the FATCA, F-A-T-C-A law, whatever, comes into play. And he gives you I've had people email me or message me, what do you think about that? Is it really going to cause dollar destruction across the world on that day? You know, honestly, I don't think it'll happen on that day. But here's what it entails. And you can see why it is not good. And it's as if someone's trying to dismantle and destroy our country. And, you know, it's blatantly obvious when you see this. So I'm going to read you this little short article. Ever since President Obama signed the ill-conceived Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, also known as FATCA, into law in 2010, I've been warning about the death of the dollar, and I haven't been alone. Other experts have cautioned about FATCA's potential to literally shut down the global economy when it goes into full effect July 1st, 2014. But the IRS has now postponed that day of reckoning for at least some time until January 1st, 2016. So the idea behind FATCA is simple. Demand that other countries enforce America's imperialistic tax laws, and to do so by confiscation of foreign assets if necessary. Under the provisions of FATCA, interest, dividends, rents, and similar payments leaving the U.S. will be subject to a 30% withholding tax. The only way that most foreign banks and other foreign companies will be able to avoid this tax is to act, basically, as unpaid IRS informants. Non-U.S. individuals investing in the U.S. will be affected too. If their foreign bank isn't FATCA compliant, their U.S. income will get whacked by 30%. It will be possible to recover the tax in some cases, but even so, I can't think of a better way to scare foreign investors away from the U.S., making them comply with some new tax laws that only apply for U.S. accounts. It's something I call FATCA contagion. Would be even worse. In this scenario, since they couldn't be completely certain that foreign recipients are FATCA compliant, U.S. banks might start routinely deducting 30% from international funds transfers and letting the IRS sort it all out. That's a possibility, he's saying. You can probably imagine what this might do to the value of the U.S. dollar. It could sink like a stone. If there's panic selling out of the dollar, the U.S. Treasury could impose foreign exchange controls overnight. If it went on for more than a day or two, it would shut down much of the global economy. The IRS seems to have become dimly aware of this possibility, and on May 2nd, it released regulations that give many of the companies and financial institutions affected by FATCA another 18 months until January 1st, 2016, to become fully compliant. But this extension will apply only if the IRS thinks the particular institution is making a, quote, good faith effort to do so. If it is not, withholding begins July 1st, 2014. How is any U.S. bank supposed to know if the foreigner it's sending money to has made a good faith effort to become an IRS spy? Sure, the IRS has exempted entire categories of foreign recipients from the withholding tax, and others will be, quote, deemed compliant if they just try to comply. Entire countries are labeled compliant if they sign what the IRS calls a Model 1 FATCA agreement. This requires that banks in those countries send the information demanded by the IRS to their own tax authorities to subsequently be sent to the IRS. But because it's expensive to set up a FATCA compliance program, thousands of what the IRS calls foreign financial institutions or non-financial foreign entities have made no effort to become FATCA compliant. Unless the IRS delays the withholding mandate entirely, there's a real potential for disaster come July of 2014. I don't have, and again, it doesn't mean that overnight it happens, but that day starting forward. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a reputation as a fearmonger, but FATCA has me very worried. The only way the IRS can stave off the possible collapse of the US dollar after July 1st is to delay the withholding for everyone until July 1st, 2016. And then it would happen. Don't get me wrong, I'm pleased that the IRS made a halting step away from the dollar precipice, but it's already too late to avoid stepping over it eventually. Here's why. To many foreigners, FATCA was simply the last straw. They're fed up with what many are calling dollar imperialism. America is already the world's largest debtor. Our government owes more money to more people than anyone else in the world. And in just the last 7 years, our nation's central bank has created $4 trillion out of thin air through quantitative easing. That's not including the national debt. If you or I tried that trick, we'd go to jail for counterfeiting. And now FATCA. In response, the rest of the world is finally setting up the financial and contractual infrastructure to avoid the dollar entirely. That is a big reason why China has signed agreements calling for the use of its currency, the yuan, in financial exchanges with numerous other countries, including Germany. Oh, wait, I thought that was our friend. Russia and India, who I also thought was our friend. Japan and India have signed a currency deal. Japan? I thought Japan was our friend. No? Huh. Japan and India have signed a currency deal linking their currencies closer together. Saudi Arabia, I thought they were our friend too, and other oil-producing states in the Middle East plan to end dollar for oil exchanges and instead settle deals with a basket of non-U.S. currencies and gold. You don't say. All these arrangements and many more lessen the world's dependency on U.S. dollars. FATCA only accelerates this process, and delaying FATCA will merely delay disaster. So maybe it's July 2014, or maybe it's January 1st, of 2016. There's no way to stop it. Even if the dollar doesn't collapse shortly after July 1st, the handwriting is on the wall. The dollar is doomed one way or the other. It's time to start thinking about Plan B for your assets, and today could not come too soon, or couldn't be too soon for you to start. And that's the end of it. That's the end of his little statement here. So it's time to start thinking about Plan B. How about Plan S? As in silver. Plan S. Not Plan B. Plan S. Silver. That's the fix. Another webbot hit talking about years ago. Major data coming in. Just every report was like, death of the dollar. Death of the dollar. No one wants the dollar. Dollar going away. Losing reserve status. Devaluation. I mean, just so much of that in the data. Way, again, years ago. Long before FATCA ever even was a thought in someone's mind. Long before China and Russia and India started buying gold en masse. Webbot was saying, U.S. dollar, death of the dollar, bye-bye. And I'll even give you a bonus that hasn't been spoken about in years that came out of the Webbot report back then. And it said, the dollar problem is going to be so bad when it really hits that worst time period of dollar, death of the dollar. And it gave an example of what it interpreted, or what Cliff High interpreted from the data. And he said, for example, what we think we're interpreting here is, for example, U.S. citizens or our troops who are all scattered in 172 different bases in different countries being told, leave our country. We don't want you here anymore. Go away. Bzz, bzz. And they go and get on a plane and go to play, or not on the plane yet. They go down to the airport. Yes, I'd like a flight from here to the United States. How much is that? Oh, that's 300 francs. Okay, what's that in U.S. dollar? Oh, sorry, sir. We don't take U.S. dollars at all. Okay, can I convert? No, I don't think you understand, sir. The whole country doesn't take U.S. dollars, so we don't transfer them to any other currency or exchange them for any other. You have to find a different way. to pay. Yeah, but I'm American. I only have... Sorry, sir. Next, please. Step aside. Next, please. That's what the webbot described many, 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 many years ago. The question remains, is it going to go down exactly like that? Are we going to have people and or troops, etc.? Because the argument would be, well, troops can fly back on their own aircraft. You know, yes, but many troops, the norm is getting on a regular flight and then coming back to the airport on a regular plane. That's very common. So what would then have to happen is, okay, we got to fly in our own airplane somehow, military craft, whatever, land at the airport. They'll probably at least let us do that. Okay, guys, get on the bus, the Airbus. Everybody on? All right, let's go back to America. How embarrassing would you be as the pilot, like just flying in there? Really? Am I like really being a taxi right now because the country won't even let us use our dollars? Yeah, I guess so. I'm just thankful I got a job. So yeah, let me land this big sucker. All aboard, folks. And honestly, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter, does it? That'd be just one benefit, that our people don't have to be humiliated in other countries coming back here. However, I think it might do some good if thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans were absolutely humiliated overseas because our dollar became worthless and other countries didn't want it. Because that would fire you up in an instant to determine what in the hell has just happened. Why did I not know about this? How did I not even see this coming? Why wasn't this on the news? Why didn't the government? What is going on? I want answers, and I want them now. And they're going to start getting those answers. It'll be sitting there right in front of their face on the computer, but they always chose to never look at it. I want to look at this stuff, that stuff. I want positive thoughts. I don't want negative thoughts. So don't, my friends and family that have been sending me this crap, don't send it, don't email it, and I'll take you off my Facebook page. I don't want to see that stuff. I got to wake up, go in the mirror, put on my fake smile, put on my hat, go to work, and give fake happiness gestures at work. When they get home and realize my bills are piling up, things are getting more expensive, I'm stressed out, I don't want to talk to anybody, I just want to sit here and figure out how am I going to deal with this. But then the next day comes when we put on my fake smile. Those are the people who need that embarrassment worse than anybody else. I can only hope that they're the ones overseas if something like this happens. Talk about the embarrassment of a lifetime. It's needed, because when someone has that happen to them, the humiliation, whatever it is, you'll light a fire under someone real quick. And then when they get home and find out what's been going on, why is bread so expensive? Why is this so expensive? Why is everything that we've been importing for the last 30 years that was seemed normal so expensive? Why don't we have these things in America? How could the price go up? Don't we have... And they're going to find out, no, we don't have that in America anymore. No, we don't make that in America anymore. No, we don't import even that food, actually. That's also import or export. That's also imported. And then people are going to be even more furious. Well, what else have you guys been screwing up while I wasn't paying attention and I was in sheeple mode? And they're going to find out everything. And they're going to clean house. Because everybody's going to know about it. Everybody's going to be talking about it. You won't be able to go outside and just pick some random stranger to say, oh, hey, did you hear today about the bread thing? Yeah, oh, God, yeah. Everyone's going to know about it. That's when major change comes, and that is unstoppable. But it's not fun to be a part of. It's not fun to have to struggle to figure out where to eat, where to get food, and where to do all that. Deal with those things. Wouldn't you like to sit back, have a few TVs, monitors, maybe you have Fox News on here, CNN if you like those mainstream garbage, 2 of those blasted here, alternative media on that screen, some websites on these 2 computer screens. Hey, how you got your little base, your little basement area of just sitting back, counting your silver. Oh, yeah, I know bread's $6 a loaf. I know. And this coin I bought when it was $20 an ounce. It's now $300. So the fact that that bread has doubled from where it used to be in price, this coin doubling would be $40, but it didn't. It went to $300. So I could buy plenty of bread and then some with just one coin. I could do some major grocery shopping for a while with one coin. $300 something worth of groceries, one coin. Here you go. Oh, and I've got, you know, hundreds and hundreds of coins. So by the time everything gets kind of fixed and squared away, where things start to that kind of come back, and okay, we may have a little bit of the boom cycle starting again, at least when everyone can have a little sigh of relief, you will have skated right through that because of your silver. That's why it's so important to get. Take care.